Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Okay, you may be seated. I understand you want to take a witness out of order.
Yes, Your Honor. Last night, unfortunately, our expert witness, Tom Leno, a death in the family.
Okay.
And unfortunately also occurred under circumstances that have involved police authorities. And Mr. Leno is a former corporal in the Pennsylvania State Police. And he's also one of the elders of his family. So next week, actually, he's dealing this morning with phone calls from both Pennsylvania and Ohio, and is going to face both work with authorities and a funeral next week. So we don't want him back here next week.
Okay, so you want to call him now?
First.
Sure.
And we call him now.
Your Honor, just give a little background. We're happy to have Mr. Lino testify today, but we had an issue with him. For scheduling purposes, we're going this morning. Just to give the court a little bit of background, and then I have a suggestion for the court.
Okay.
We originally talked about witnesses, and obviously the counsel have been coordinating because that's what's necessary in the case of this magnitude with so many witnesses. The original order was Mr. Voss, Mr. Frame, Mr. Guess, Mr. Schuman, Mr. Simmons, and then Mr. Lino.
Okay.
Obviously, we've done our best to move things along, but it sort of became quickly apparent that Mr. Voss taking it actually a little bit more than a day, and Mr. Frame, that he knew probably as of Wednesday, certainly as of yesterday afternoon, at noon, Mr. Lino was not to be going until Monday. In fact, we had a discussion at the end of court yesterday when Mr. Kelly acknowledged, obviously didn't know about Mr. Lino's situation, but certainly said he wasn't going to go. So the plan then would have been to have Mr. Schuman and Mr. Simmons, Mr. Guest go this morning, and then my partner is to be preparing Mr. Schuman and Mr. Simmons to go this afternoon.
Okay.
We received word at 8 o'clock that there was witness unavailability. At that 8 o'clock last night email, there's nothing about Mr. Lino's death in the family, or that he was unavailable Monday or Tuesday. At 5 to 11 at night, I got a follow-up email from Ms. King saying death in the family and Mr. Lino's unavailability on Monday and Tuesday. So I spoke to Mr. Gavaya at 6:15 a.m. this morning, told him about the situation, and I said, well, what I'm going to suggest is that we do Mr. Guest this morning. Mr. Gavaya is the Division of Labor is handling Mr. Lino as well as Mr. Schuman and Mr. Simmons. You work on Mr. Lino, I'll do Mr. Guest, we'll do Lino in the afternoon. Mr. Gavaya said, fine, I'll switch gears. I'm not going to meet with Schuman and Simmons. I'm going to start working on the Lino cross-examination. I suggested that to counsel this morning in an email that I sent to them about 6:30 a.m., and I didn't get a response. So they now want to have Mr. Lino go first and then have Schuman and Simmons. And that doesn't work for us because Mr. Gavaya cannot be at two places at once. And he has not met with Mr. Schuman and Mr. Simmons, who are his witnesses. Mr. Guest is my witness. So I think my suggestion to accommodate my condolences to Mr. Lino and his family are to have Mr. Guest go this morning as scheduled, Mr. Lino this afternoon, and then we will push Mr. Schuman and Mr. Simmons back to Monday. Mr. Schuman, who was he was out of town, he works out of town, came in this morning. He's been willing to adjust his schedule so that he could appear for the court on Monday for his testimony. And the original email that I got at 8 o'clock from Ms. King said, because of the availability of witnesses, we're planning on calling the following people tomorrow: Schuman, Simmons, and Lino. So clearly they also had contemplated, at least as of 8 o'clock, Mr. Lino going in the afternoon. So we can work on that and Mr. Guest go this morning, but we have 11 witnesses to prepare, Your Honor. It's one of those unusual cases where that's just how things break. So that's my suggestion to the court.
And Your Honor, I appreciate that we're all really busy. I've got a Chinese client. It's actually a preliminary injunction hearing going on in New Jersey. I got a call last night from one of my largest clients in Minneapolis. We have a T.R.O. going on in Baltimore. So this morning I was on the phone with lots of people dealing with cases in other courtrooms around the United States. And so I understand how busy we are. We are very busy. But the issue is this. We have a person who we want to have home with their family. We don't know exactly how long that will take, given the way this has worked so far. We're doing it the best we can. And our plan, with all due respect, I thought Mr. Schuman was going to be here first thing this morning. I was going to you're going to try to get 4 witnesses on before you today, Your Honor. Mr. Schuman, Mr. Simmons, Mr. Lano, and Mr. Farrow. 4 done in one day, so that we would be close to actually finishing it. So, with all due respect, in order to ensure that Mr. Lano goes, the only way to do that is to allow us to start, tell Mr. Gavaya to come before if he needs to. And Mr. Cox is here, Mr. Saltinger's here. They have to continue to prep witnesses. They have alternatives that don't. If we're going to have a judgment here about whose life we're going to impact, it seems to me the lawyers should be impacted, not Mr. Lano. So I asked the court for its permission to put on Mr. Lano right now. That's Mr. Lano, not Lano.
Your Honor, I still have another suggestion. And I'm lead counsel, so I'm not in a position to not be informed this court for all the days of the trial. Mr. Cox, with due respect, the local counsel has said no in the case. Mr. Gavaya is preparing. He said that he can be here by 10:30 to listen to the direct. We can do Mr. Lino first, and after that we can put on Mr. Guess. So that, because I'm prepared for Mr. Guess. And then we can do Schuman and Simmons, and then Mr. Lino will certainly be done today, no doubt. And then if we have time, we can start Mr. Guess. And that was the original order.
Okay, why don't we do this? Why don't we start Mr. Lino?
Yes.
You direct.
Yes.
Mr. Gavaya get here, and if he's here by the time you're finished, he can start his cross.
We can get this.
If not, we can start Mr. Guess, or Mr. Gavaya gets here, we can take a break with Mr. Guess and go back to Mr.
Okay, so we'll start with Mr. Lano.
I'm a little confused, Your Honor. Mr. Gavaya, certainly because he's doing the cross, and Mr. Lino needs to be here for all of them.
Well, yeah.
Well, he took his deposition.
Well, how long does it take Mr. Gavaya to get here?
He's preparing. I can give him a call, and as I said, I think because he's finishing up, he's expediting things, he could be here and be ready to go, Your Honor, by 10:30. That will get Mr. Lino on and off the stand. We are sensitive, with no doubt, what happened to Mr. Lino and the death of his family, and we're trying to accommodate. But the same vein, Your Honor, that unfortunate incident doesn't end up meaning that somehow we're doing things more on the fly in any way that would prejudice our clients. So that's why Mr. Gavaya switched gears this morning at 6:30 in the morning instead of meeting with Schuman and Simmons, went back to Lino, who we anticipated was not going to go until Monday. So I can have him here, Your Honor, by 10:30, maybe a little bit earlier, but I certainly want, and Mr. Gavaya needs to obviously be here for all the jury. That would otherwise be
Summarize. Mr. Lano, we believe, comes first. I think the court...
Well, I tend to agree with we need Mr. Lano get out here, but we need Mr. Gavaya here. If he's the one handling him. And we got to get Mr. Gavaya here right away. As soon as he gets here, we'll take Mr. Lano.
I'll give a call to Mr. Gavaya.
Give Mr. Gavaya a call, tell him to get on his way here. And
then we'll put on, we'll read Mr. Schuman. What
we could do it.
The first 20 minutes from Mr. Lano is going to be background that relates to qualifications in any of them. Mr. Gavaya certainly knows that, unless they're going to stipulate right now that he's qualified as an expert. But even then, Your Honor, to ensure that he's on and off, what we start at 10 when Mr. Gavaya is here.
Your Honor, when we start at 10 and 10:30, I'll get done.
Well, do we have anything that
will get done today?
Don't you have a short witness? Did you want to read a death in or something?
Yeah, you know what? We could read in T.R.O. right now.
We have counter designations to that. I'm not sure how the court would want to handle that. We received their designations last night. We have counter designations to the court, and I'm not sure how the court would like to handle that, if it's going to be a reading exercise or if he wants to hand those with highlighting the designations for the court to read.
How do you want to handle it?
Well, since it is our case after all, what we wanted to do was, because it's important, is read it so that you can hear it.
Okay.
And so that's what our preference was.
All right, why don't you read it, and then, Counsel, you can read any of the designations.
If some of my designations, Your Honor, are in the middle of his, or like Mr. Fair, if he designates and I have something, then he continues. And I feel like I'm an actor in a play.
How long is the entire deposition?
The entire deposition, I think, Your Honor, is roughly 95 pages. We had, without looking, it was a half-day deposition. What?
It really is just like 3 minutes. It's 95 pages.
Yeah, I've been doing this for almost 30 years. I have a pretty good sense of how long a depo takes in the pages. It's 95 pages, Your Honor. Almost all of the depositions that have occurred here, which are half-day depositions, are in that ballpark. Again, I think, since we've all been practicing this long, it's a preliminary injunction here. Things happen on the fly. And at that, I'm in 3 courtrooms at once, and it's my case. It's our case.
All right, let's do this step first, and then we'll take, that'll give Mr. Gavaya time to get here. And then we'll...
Thank you, Your Honor. I appreciate it. I really do appreciate the courtesy. So does Mr. Leno.
Okay.
So, Judge, when there's something in the middle to make it flow, does he have a copy of your designations? No, I just did it very late last night. It's sort of just
well, then,
little that I can share with them before to let them know.
Yeah, why don't you share with them so it can flow.
Can we start in 10 minutes then, Your Honor?
Yeah, go over the depth with the so we can read all of it at once.
Right, and then we'll hand you a
copy of the designations. All right, let's take 10 minutes.
All right, all rise.